thank you for joining me. I thought I'd try something a little different today on week 8 of lockdown yoga. If you could place yourself by a wall, if you could have a bit of an empty space of wall, that would be great. And we're just going to use the walls to stretch against to help produce some strength in the poses, and they're there to help you balance really, so it can be really beneficial. Okay, so if you find your patch of wall, and to start with, in standing pose, which is Tadasana, mountain pose, you're just going to draw the heels into the wall behind you. Place the butt into the wall and the shoulders, just let them draw down so the shoulders drop away from your ears. Slide the shoulder blades down the wall and do a slight tuck with the chin to chest so you gaze forwards, and all that does is bring your spine into a nice natural curve. Think of drawing your belly button inwards, knees are strong. So you keep drawing your core muscles in towards the wall, and as you breathe out, just drop the shoulders. And as you inhale, if you can, just try getting some length through the ribs, raising the arms to the wall behind you, and again flattening the shoulder blades into the wall. And as you exhale, let's take a drop down. And we'll do that 3 times. Inhale on the lift. Good, so you're trying not to flare the ribs, just a nice easy breath rate up and down, but you'll find that this standing pose, when you've got this little bit of resistance behind you, core muscles locked on, is quite strong, and that's how it's meant to feel. Or one more round perhaps. Inhale as these arms lift, just sink the shoulder blades into the wall behind you, let these shoulders just loosen up. Take one huge deep breath. Think of lengthening from the crown of head through to the feet. And as you exhale, we'll slide the hands back down. Rotate through the shoulders. So if you think of freestanding in that same pose, we'll take one stretch up. A little bit of side extension through the ribs, so you can pull it with the opposite hand. And changing sides. And a nice soft forward bend to start. So if you just bend the knees, take hold of the elbows, let the head draw down, lift the hips slightly, and on this in-breath, we'll lift it all the way back up. And when we make those forwards bends a little bit stronger, so you exhale, hands to heart, draw all the way to the floor. Lift the palms, lift the pelvis, lift the chest, a little bit of a back bend. We'll do one more. Starting to loosen up, exhale down, all the way to the floor. Take your time. On the in-breath, lift. And let the hands come down. We're going to use this wall behind us just for a little bit of a twist. So if you're about a foot distance from the wall now, feet are parallel, you might just have to readjust your distance slightly. We're just going to twist the whole body, so we're after a twist out of the spine. Hands come to shoulder height on the wall behind you, and you can just press in. And use this wall just to extend the twist a little bit within your comfort level. So you're rotating the chest towards the wall. Maybe the hands can walk away a little bit deeper. Take one deep breath. And very slowly, that was a deep twist, rotating back out. Let your shoulders go. Do that the other way. So you're just walking the hands back into a twist. Our whole body's moved, the hips have moved, and now the chest opens up a little bit more into this deep, deep twist through the spine. As you inhale, good. Roll the shoulders, loosen everything up a little bit. I'll show you from this side on. We're going to use the wall first of all to do a forward bend. So, comfortable distance away from the wall, enough distance so that you can push your butt into the wall and your sit bones connect. So your knees are strong, your feet are parallel and hip distance apart. And you can just lengthen through the crown of the head so you become a little bit more horizontal in your spine. And then start to fold down into a forward bend. And here you can hold onto the legs or bring the hands down to the floor. And as you exhale, think of pushing into the wall quite strongly. Next exhalation, just let your head go, lengthen the spine.
And you'll find that just really helps you to get a good deep forward bend, some length at the back of the legs. Head is hanging now. We can draw up to the knees. Inhale on the lift.
And now create some length in your spine through the crown of the head. Lift the arms. One deep breath. As you exhale, we'll fold that down into a Uttanasana, forward bend.
A little bit deeper. So you can perhaps, if your hands are on the floor, bring your palms either side of your feet and work the palms downwards. Draw the chin to chest. On the inhalation, we'll slide it up.
So you're now parallel again. We can stretch out, taking one deep breath. We can bend the knees, come away from the wall. Well done. And then take a forward bend, freestanding. See how that feels. Let the head go, bend the knees and uncurl. Well done. Let the shoulders just roll. Okay, so we're going to use the mats here, the walls here, to create a little bit of strength in some familiar poses. So if you just want to come down to the knees, pop the toes into the wall behind you, and then stretch away into your child's pose. And we can sink the armpits, draw the chin to chest, roll up through all fours. And here, if you just come into plank position, flex through the feet and try pushing your heels into the wall behind you. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Lift the knees, create some length from the heels through to the crown of your head. And we're just going to take 3 breaths. And just that action of pushing your heels into the wall behind you strengthens up the whole pose. You might feel like you want to do that. If you do, come back when you can. One more deep breath. And then we'll take a rest. So drop away, extend. And as we lift onto all fours this time, let's just bring the elbows underneath your shoulders. Extend the leg upwards, like that. So the shoelace part of your foot is on the wall. And you can get a really nice stretch into your quads by just rocking backwards and forwards. Maybe you can just draw it back a little bit deeper, put some resistance into the wall, let the head hang, and here we can take 3 deep breaths. We've got that lovely deep resistance and a good stretch into your hip flexor on that right side or the extended side. Shoulders are soft, let your head hang into this space. And when you're ready, bring that down. Let's do the same, just to try it out on the other side. You can give it a little rock backwards and forwards. So you'll lengthen, if you like, through the quads, through the hip flexor. This leg can go a little bit deeper if you want to. Letting the head drop down into this space. And then a little bit of resistance. Your hip bones are parallel and facing forwards. And we can draw it back down into extension. Okay. So from here, your toes are connected to the wall behind you. We can roll to all fours, push through the heels, and lift into a downward facing dog. Again, it just produces a little bit more strength in the pose. Push some resistance into these heels. Let your head just hang. And as you exhale, lift your core muscles, arch the spine, and roll forwards to your plank position. As you inhale, up you come. As you exhale, take it forwards. And we'll do 3 rounds. Inhale on the lift. Exhale, bring it forwards. Well done. Keep these heels locked into the wall. Your strength on. And coming back into your final downward facing dog here. Up we come, lift, let the head hang. We can bring the elbows to the floor, knees to the floor. Or if you want to take a standing split, so a little bit deeper, walk the hands in slightly, lift your back leg. And we've got the same pose that we did on the knees earlier, but we've just made it a little bit stronger. Now let the head hang. Draw the chest towards this supporting leg here. Take a breath.
Remember, you can do this from the knee, elbows down, with one leg extended up the wall, exactly the same. Or bring it down and just try the same into the other side. Okay, put a little bit of resistance into the wall. You want your spine to become a little bit more vertical. Or one deep breath. Good, relax your shoulders, and when you're ready, step it forwards and lift out of the pose. So you can see already this strengthens it up quite a lot. We're going to go into a Dandasana, which is an L shape. This is a great stretch to do if you don't do anything else all day. You can do this on your kitchen counter, on a bit of wall, just to lengthen your spine out. So you place the hands into the wall in front of you, first fingers parallel, belly button lifted so your core muscles are strong, and then push back. So the crown of the head comes forward, your heels underneath your hips. So you're rotating your armpits down towards the floor, lengthening through the crown of the head. Give your toes a little bit of a wiggle. Relax into these shoulders. And once you've found your balance, we're going to push all the weight down into your left leg and take a warrior three, which is supported by your wall, into the right leg. Push into the hands, lengthen through this foot. Try and keep that extended hip bone parallel to the floor. And take 3 breaths. Each time you exhale, soften the shoulders, let the chest drop. One more round of breath there. And we can lock some strength on into your core and just draw knee to nose. Lift it all up. Inhale back. Let's do that 3 times. Exhale, bring it up. So you just lift the whole body. Lock on some core strength. Bring it back. One more round. Beautiful. Okay, just hold the balance here. Push all your weight evenly down into your supporting foot. Give a little rotation around your extended foot. And when you're ready, bring that back down. Back into your Dandasana, your L shape. Lovely strong shoulders. As you inhale, lift the other leg here. Push the chest down. You really need to practice your breathing when you get into these strong standing poses. In through the nose, full deep breath, full capacity in the lungs. Exhale a little bit deeper. And again, we can draw nose to knee, so you need a slight lift. Inhale back. Let's do that a couple more times. Slight lift. Inhale back. One more time. Good. Into your warrior three. One deep breath. Little rotation around the foot. We can bring the feet back down to the mat. Soften the knees. Take a lift. Let the arms drop. Okay, so all sorts we can do with these walls. If you want to face the wall into your Tadasana, so you've got this lovely strong core, strong knees, let your shoulders just drop away. And we're going to use this wall to encourage a nice deep stretch in the hamstring here. So if you just take a look at it, you might want this leg a little bit more vertical. Just pop this foot into the wall. Okay, and challenge yourself to be tall and take a stretch up. And as you exhale, we're going to fold from the hips. And you start to walk the hands down this leg. You can connect to the foot, bring the crown of the head forwards. 3 breaths. Inhale, exhale. A little bit deeper in. And lift. And we can take that whole thing into a twist. So the left hand comes to the outside of your right leg. You twist the whole body. Gazing down this extended right hand, and over it comes. If you can do that one more time, fantastic. Lift, open into a twist, take 1 deep breath, and when you're ready, back round to the wall. Let this leg drop down, soft knees, inhale, have a breath. Let's take a forward bend all the way down, exhale, all the way down. Soften the legs, roll it up. And the shoulders get nice and soft. This is my left leg now, but obviously the other leg. So stand tall, lock your strength on, let your shoulders relax,
full deep lung capacity in the breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to make little feet marks on your wall. This leg to be a little bit more vertical. Spread the weight evenly into the foot and push the heel in. You can even draw the toes back towards you. And just fold forwards into a bend here. So you're thinking of some length in your spine. You're coming forwards and away through the crown of the head. Just for the next 2 or 3 breaths. You can connect to the foot or the leg. And as you inhale, good. Remember, we lifted shoulders against the wall to start with. Try that, just get some height. As you exhale, bring a hand to the leg. Inhale, take a rotation. So we started off with a twist. We're going to get them a little bit deeper. You're also working on your balance and your strength. Inhale, take a lift up. Exhale into the wall here. We'll do that one more time. Inhale. Open into a twist. Open the chest here, draw the shoulder back. How are you feeling? Keep the crown of the head tall. Inhale on the lift. And step that foot down. Well done. Okay, just loosen up again. Inhale, take a draw up. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. Taking one deep breath. We'll walk this forward bend to one side and then the other. Okay, so we're going to go through a little flow of yoga using the walls to help and using them to gain some strength. Okay, so if you let the shoulders roll, slide the hands down, let the head just roll one side then the other so things loosen up a little bit. And give yourself a shake out. Well done. Okay, so we've been here before. Toes connect to the wall behind you and you can stretch back and just take 3 or 4 breaths into this rest pose. So you really feel like you're just sinking, the spine lengthens. In fact, let's take a lateral walk with the hands. We can go one way. Really just find some length in these ribs. Lengthen the breath rate. We can go the other way. Building up a little bit of strength with each breath. When you're ready, let's come through centre, onto all fours, and as usual, draw the shoulder blades back. We're going to go up and down the spine, or one time each way. Inhale, exhale, and when you're ready, roll through these feet into a downward facing dog. Okay, we want to really think of a cat posture within this spine. So pull the belly button up, roll the shoulders over the heels of the hands, hold your plank position. Again, do that a couple of times. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, roll it forwards. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, lovely deep downward facing dog. Draw the chest through. We'll take a breath here. Pull the belly button into your spine. Let the head just hang. You've got a lovely strong core. And when you're ready, good. We're going to keep left heel back against the wall. Just step the right foot forward between the hands and lift onto your knee. And as usual, we've got the wall here for a little bit of strength. So push the heel back into the wall. Your leg might soften a little bit like that. If you can, just lift. This lead foot is parallel. And just push away onto the knee. So you've got some length going that way through your front leg. And lift into the back leg. Oops. And from here, let's lift into a crescent moon chest. So the chest lifts, the shoulder blades draw back. And we can take gaze upwards if that feels okay. Really strengthen into this back leg. And we're just going to hold just for a couple of breaths. So concentrate on your breathing now. A little bit deeper into the chest, shoulders slide back. As you exhale, down to the floor. Well done. And this right leg is now going to lift back into the wall. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You can have left knee down, or you can lift from
from your down dog position. Walk the hands in a little bit deeper so you become more vertical. And we created a standing split. Head hangs. 3 deep breaths. Well done. Inhale, exhale. Little bit of resistance into this back leg. You'll find that quite strong, so the breath really needs to work with you. And when you're ready, good. Just drop to the floor, extend away, and relax. Take your breaths here. You want to use these down times if you like to gain your strength. So let your whole body soften. A good indicator and good practice to get into is to think about the tension around your face, your upper body, your shoulders, your facial muscles. Jawline, just let it all soften until you feel ready to pick the strength up again. So here we go. Let's roll it forwards. In fact, we'll come up and down the spine. Inhale, head lifts, so cat-cow in the spine. Once you've created your long spine, let's roll through the toes and push these hips back towards the wall behind you. Draw your chest through to this space. Get some height through the spine. Create your cat-type spine and roll forwards. So just a wave-like roll into plank. And as you inhale, lift it back. We'll do that twice. Exhale. Keep your core strength locked. Inhale, lift it back. Well done, this looks quite strong now. Inhale. Hold your plank, really work these heels back. Back to your downward facing dog. Take one complete breath in the pose if you can. And when you're ready, we're going to bring this left foot forward between the hands. So you just need to soften the knees, take a step, and this becomes parallel. Okay, so if you need to walk this forward with the hands a little bit, do that. Once you've connected your foot to the floor, take the hands to knee and push the knee away, and this back heel locks into the floor behind you. So you're creating a little bit of strength there. Drop the pelvis. When you think you can leave this leg behind and you've found your balance, breathe in, 3, 2, top of the breath, and hold. So keep it nice and strong. Lift the chest, relax the shoulders. Take the gaze upwards if that doesn't take your balance. Just take a couple more breaths if you can. Lift this back knee into the wall, push the heel away, and finally, as you exhale, draw it all the way down. Ready for your standing split or knee to floor, whichever feels best for you. Okay, so as you go a little bit soft in the legs here, we're going to lift this left leg, elevate, walk the hands in a little bit, have a play with it. You don't need to keep it static, just draw the chest through this space, let your head hang. How's your breathing? Take 3 deep breaths. Keep the length and height into your spine. One more round of breath if you can. Really draw the chest through. And we need to walk the hands away slightly. Back into your downward facing dog. One breath, keep it strong. Exhale through plank. Length from heels through to crown of head. And we can chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Pop the hands underneath your forehead and take a few deep breaths. Just rest it out. Inhale and exhale. So again, just draw away any tension left in your upper body. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders, ready for cobra. The elbows draw to the ribs. And as you breathe in, the chest lifts. Up you come, let the shoulders just relax away. Popping back into the heels here. When you're ready, rolling through the toes. Downward facing dog. And we're going to walk or jump the feet to this space between your hands. So you want to soften the knees, just move the hips around a little bit.
In we come, into that space. Okay, fantastic. Take a breath there. How long have we done? 25 minutes. We'll do a few more minutes. We'll just show you a few more poses that you can do against the walls here. Before we move on, we're going to take another forward bend. We're creating some length down the back of the body. We've done it with butt against the wall, creating some length. If you want to have a go reversed around, what you do is connect your shoulder blades to the wall, and that gives you a little bit of resistance into your forward bend. So you can do either of those. You can go with this first Uttanasana forward bend that we did, or if you want to have a little play, okay, just fold forwards, maybe with soft legs to start with. Bring the hands to the floor and walk the feet in till you can connect your shoulder blades to the wall. Looks a bit weird, but it works wonders. And you'll know by now if this is for you. If it feels uncomfortable, turn around the other way. Okay, so here we're going to lengthen the legs and start to walk the feet forwards. You can slide the hands down the back of the legs. Put some resistance into your shoulders. Great way to deepen your forward bend. But again, it shouldn't hurt. Shouldn't feel tense. If it does, come out of it and find your own level. Maybe bend the knees a little bit and then lift them up really strongly. And we'll do that a couple of times. Taking one more round. Beautiful. Okay, just push all your weight into the wall now. If you're in this forward bend with shoulder blades against the walls, just let the wall take your weight, which is what walls are really good at. And breathe. Enjoy that length down the back of your body. Soften the legs, bring the hands to the floor. Walk away before you come up, else you'll hit your head. Bend the knees. Take a stretch. Maybe a little bit of a back bend. And down we come. Okay. So 2 more poses if that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is a triangle pose. So we're going to take parallel foot, middle of mat, and that toe is just probably about a foot away from the wall. You want that distance, so you don't want to hit your head when you come down. This back leg comes in at an angle, and we've got the start of a classic triangle pose, Trikonasana, and again just using the wall to strengthen you up a little bit. So if you think of drawing some strength up through the pelvis, core muscles lift, let's take a stretch so you're vertical. A little bit of height out the ribs. And just let the arms drop. So you've got this height in your spine, the lift in the pelvis, the rotation in the back foot. And with your near side hand, just start to walk the hand down and down. So what you're doing is rotating open into this shoulder, walking the hand away to a point where you don't start to roll in. You want to be open here, a little bit deeper. And that is your triangle pose. Very strong in the hips, the adductors, spine. You can take this upper hand, push the hips downwards very slightly so you make sure that you've got the right rotation in your hips. Breathe in, open the chest. In your Trikonasana here, we can now leave the hips behind, draw one hand up to the ceiling. And if you feel you can, without taking a roll forwards, we want to keep this really open. Just bring the hand into the wall. Take a little bit of resistance here. That strengthens the whole thing up quite a lot. Walk this upper chest open, open the rib cage to the ceiling, put some resistance into these hands. And you've got a deep Trikonasana there, just breathe. Very strengthening. Use the whole capacity of your lungs. One more breath. We're going to bend this knee and lift. Beautiful. Nice strong pose. I'll show you side on for the other leg. So now you've got the opposite foot into the wall. Trikonasana. Back leg just drops away at an angle. And the foot, again, the lead foot, you're about that far from the wall. Just far enough to be able to drop down without hitting your head. So okay, hips face the front. Let's take a stretch up, exactly the same as the other side. Lift the hips lift the ribs. Let the arms drop, and when you're ready, we're going to start to walk this near side hand down through the wall. Core muscles locked. And you can see that I'm not floating forwards. This has to stay open to get the best out of the pose. So walk down the wall just as far as you can. And you get this lovely deep stretch down this outer rib cage. So keep parallel to the mat, don't fold forwards. Drop the hands into the hips. As you inhale, it can take a stretch up. And here you've got the wall to support you. If you want to take that a touch further, you can just bring it over. Open the upper ribs. And again, just 2 or 3 breaths. And you'll find your Trikonasana pose. If you just stay there, breathe, push it into the wall a little bit deeper. It's a good deep opening here in this part of the spine, into the adductors. Core muscles stay locked. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, again, just roll out of there. And let the whole body go nice and soft. Let's take one more, and then we're going to come down to the floor and just have a stretch down onto the floor and cool things out. Might finish with feet on the wall, which is always quite nice. So just try these. If they're not for you, then you can take any option you like. Okay, so I'll give you, as usual, little different options as you go through. Walls are great to hang off and move your spine around. So if you have your first fingers parallel to each other, push the hands into the wall, get little fingerprints all over the wall. Push the hands into the wall. Feet are parallel and hip distance apart as usual, and you can just lift the hips, hang the chest, and that's really a good opening through the shoulders here. So you've got your fingertips connected into the wall, the hips are lifted. As you exhale, let this chest drop a little bit deeper. Good time to practice your Ujjayi breath in through the nose. Exhale, sink this pose. Okay, so really lift the hips, drop the chest, and when you're ready, we're going to lift that all the way up. So if you just lift, now you're drawing onto the toes and taking a little bit of a back bend by lifting the heels. One breath. Ready, back we go. Exhale. Inhale, draw these elbows in line with the shoulders, get a lift in the chest, and we'll take 3 rounds. Ready, back we go, chest drops. Bend the knees. Then we come up through this lift, the heels lift, lengthening the front of the body. Let's do 2 more. If that's too strong, obviously you just reduce the flow of the movement. And this would be a reduction if you like, so not such a lift in the spine. Everybody's spines will do different things. Let's take 1 more round. As you inhale, take the lift. Good. We'll perhaps hold here for a breath if you can. Lift the heels, lift the chest. Draw the elbows down so they're nice and soft, and then work the heels down to the floor. See how that feels. 1 more breath. And up we come. Dropping into a lovely deep forward bend. Letting the hands go side to side. And when you're ready, bend the knees. And uncurl. Okay, we're going to finish off lying into the floor. There is honestly so much you can do against the wall with yoga, but we'll keep it to a shorter session. We've done 35 minutes already. Might do another session and add a few more bits onto this, so let me know how you go. Going to lie into the floor and just let the feet draw up the wall, which is great to do whether you've done a yoga session or a run or anything, or just having a lazy day. Feet up the wall, just let all the resistance drop back down so you're inverted. We can bend the knees, draw the whole of the spinal column to the floor, and just lift up into an easy bridge here. Shuffle the shoulder blades in and become a little bit more vertical. Bring the hands together under the body line. Have a little play with it. Draw 1 foot over, get a stretch down the back of that leg.
Bring your foot back onto the wall. You can do the same on the other side. Let it just drop. Use gravity. Or when you're ready, coming back to the wall. Release the hands, popping the hands onto the hips, all the way back down to the floor. Good. Shuffle a little bit closer to the wall maybe. We're going to do a hamstring stretch. There's two ways you can do this. You can just bring knee to chest, walk up the back of the calf, connect to the calf here, use that as your lever. If you feel like you can take hold of your toe, 2 fingers, 1 thumb around the big toe, and we just get this lovely deep stretch into this leg. And we're going to take a couple of breaths there. So again, once you've got your connection, remember you can hold onto the calf or hold onto this toe in a yoga toe hold. Lift the heel, draw the toes to you. Good. Take that wide if you want to. Just play with all this movement around the hips, bringing it back. And finally we can put this foot onto the other knee. Push the opposite foot into the wall. And you've got a number 4 stretch. You can push this knee away. Just relax into it. If you want to roll the hips off the floor, you can do that. You can have a little play with that. Move this hip around a touch. Bring it back down when you feel ready. Okay, let's just bring, I'm on my left leg, obviously the opposite leg, into your hamstring stretch here. So that will feed down into your gluteals, into your spine, helping to keep it all manoeuvrable. Lengthen the leg. So you're soft on the calf, using that as your lever, or 2 fingers and 1 thumb around the toe. And you want to get a stretch here. We've already done quite a few forward bends, so the leg's hopefully well on the move. You can take it wide to the side if you want to. Take it over, except I've got the wall in my way, so it won't go far. When you're ready, bringing it back to centre. We're going to bend the knee, pop the foot onto your thigh, supporting foot drops into the wall, and you can just hold there, or if you want, you can just roll the hips off the floor. Move this hip round a little bit, get some movement in the base of spine. And when you're ready, good. Bring the spine all the way down to the floor. Draw the knees into chest. And we're going to finish off just with your feet elevated up on the wall. Palms dropped out to the sides if that feels comfortable for you. If you want to, just raise them above the head, but don't feel any tension in your shoulders. Feet can just flop. Shoulder blades connected to the floor. And here, just take your Ujjayi breath in through the nostrils. Fill the lungs, deep capacity in the lungs. As you exhale, let the breath drop away. Just lengthen your breath, lift the ribs. Next step, you take an in-breath. In through the nostrils, hold at the top of the breath for as long as you can. When you need to take your exhalation side away, draw the knees into the chest. And let yourself roll onto one side. And coming up into seated position. Okay, a little bit different. I hope you got on all right with that. Like I said, we might bring in a few more wall yoga poses in the next few weeks, and we can keep strengthening them up. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Thank you very much. Take care.